Today is April 3rd, 2023. My name is Rob Carr of Kalamazoo Right to Life, and this is Pro-Life Week. Well, a few things today in the news. In New Mexico, which is one of the most pro-abortion states in the country, tragically, 5 towns near the Texas border have declared themselves sanctuary cities for the unborn. It's a growing movement across the country. However, the state's Attorney General, a pro-abortion Democrat, has asked the state Supreme Court to intervene and block these towns from imposing these local ordinances. And actually, when you come down to it, these 5 communities are not banning abortion. They are merely requiring the state to comply with federal abortion statutes. And the one in particular is 18 U.S. Code 1461-1462, which prohibit the mailing and the receiving of abortion-inducing drugs and abortion paraphernalia within the city limits. Okay. All 5 justices agreed with the state attorney general, and the ordinances have been temporarily blocked. Now, this is interesting. The director of the Right to Life of East Texas, and he's also the founder of the Sanctuary Cities for the Unborn Initiative, he has his own take on this whole issue. And here's a quote from him. Quote, "The end of Roe v. Wade did not end abortion in America. It merely returned the battle to the people and their representatives at every level of government, federal, state, county, and local." Unquote. Well, I appreciate the concept, and I wholeheartedly support local jurisdictions, the right to pass local ordinances, pro-life ordinances. I'm not sure that when the Supreme Court ruled on the Dobbs decision, that's exactly what they had in mind. When I read Dobbs, it seems that the justices are giving that right back to state government, state senators, state reps, not county or local individuals. But I'm not an attorney, especially I'm not a constitutional scholar. If this is challenged and it goes before an appellate court or even the Supreme Court, if it went to the Supreme Court, they may have to clarify exactly what they meant in Dobbs, that the right to affect abortion policy is reserved for state governments, or did it include local mayors or local city councilmen? That's going to have to be something that the Supreme Court's going to have to decide if this ever comes to that level. I just don't know if it will. But what is good to see in this whole case is that more local communities are trying to call the shots on trying to block abortion in their communities. And that is a good thing. Now, today, and I even went online just a few minutes ago to see if there was an update, and there hasn't been one. But today, in Tallahassee, in the Florida capital, there will be a vote today, which is Monday. There'll be a vote whether or not the state Senate will pass a heartbeat bill. It has not gone to the state house yet. So if it passes in the Senate today, which I'm assuming it will, because there are strong pro-life majorities. And I read one article, it even said the House and the Senate have strong pro-life supermajorities, which would imply that even if there was a veto, they have enough votes to override a veto. And because Ron DeSantis is the governor, there wouldn't be a veto. But I'm just saying, theoretically, if there had been a veto, they could override it. So what's in this heartbeat bill? Well, we know, from the Georgia bill, and Georgia, I think, is the only state in the country that has a heartbeat bill. Once a fetal heartbeat is detected, or roughly around 6 weeks gestation, the state will ban abortion. And there could be a restriction or an exception for rape and incest or the life of the mother. But in general, after 6 weeks, abortions are banned in Georgia. And the same would be true in the state of Florida. Now, currently, Florida has a 15-week abortion ban. And this would obviously, take Florida into new territory. And right now, if you look at a map, and we'll talk about this in a few minutes, but if you look at a map, most of the states near Florida are pro-life states and have banned abortions completely. But if you live in some of these pro-life states, Florida seems to be the go-to state to travel to. And even though there is this 15-week ban, still a lot of people will still decide to terminate their pregnancies before that 15-week limit. So if Florida passes this heartbeat bill to restrict it to 6 weeks, this is a huge pro-life victory. Okay. Like I said, there are exceptions for rape and incest, to save the mother's life, or, quote, to avert a serious risk of imminent, substantial, and irreversible physical impairment of a major bodily function of the pregnant woman other than a psychological condition. So it's not for psychological reasons. Another good thing in this bill, it allocates $25 million for pregnancy care centers across the state. It also requires that the abortion pills, the medication and abortion pills, be distributed by a physician in person. That's another good thing. Democrats tried to amend this bill 18 times to no avail. They failed each time. One Democrat senator complained that the science is really unclear whether or not there really is a heartbeat at 6 weeks. The science really isn't there. Another legislator complained that the heartbeat bill is a religious position. She claims that her Jewish faith says that the fetus does not have a separate life from the mother. They want to appeal to science about fetal heartbeats. Okay, so let's talk about science. When you see an ultrasound, who is that in the picture? Who is that? It's a baby in the picture. It's not the mother, it's a baby. Does that baby have DNA? Well, we know it has DNA, but is that DNA different from mother's DNA? Well, science tells us yes. The DNA from a fetus, a unborn baby, is completely different and unique from the mother's DNA. The very fact that the DNA is different scientifically that the baby is another human being living and growing inside a woman's uterus. So, sorry, you pro-abortion people. Science is on our side. You may have choice, my body, my choice, but we have science. And I think ours trumps yours. So getting back to this map thing, I was looking at a map that was provided by the Alan Guttmacher Institute, which is a pro-abortion think tank of sorts. They used to be connected to Planned Parenthood. I think they're independent now. But they had a map showing all the states in the country and where each state landed on abortion restrictions. And now I'm only going to mention a few of them. But 13 states have banned abortions completely, or in some cases, with exceptions for rape and incest or the life of the mother. So here are the honorable mention 13 pro-life states. Now I'm going to go from west coast to east. So west to east, Idaho, Wyoming, South Dakota. Moving south, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri. Now let's cross the Mississippi River. Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, and West Virginia. Georgia is the only state with a heartbeat law, hopefully joined very soon by Florida. And Ron DeSantis has said he will sign this bill if it passes. So Georgia is the only state right now with a heartbeat bill. And then there are other states that have 15 weeks. I think Arizona and Florida are the only two right now that have 15 weeks. So if Florida changes to the heartbeat 6-week limit, Arizona would be the only state left with a 15-week limit ban. So these are positive developments. They really are. Back in February, speaking of Arizona, the state Senate passed a bill that required doctors to provide life-saving care to babies that were born alive or were born as a result of an abortion. And last Thursday, the state House passed the bill 32 to 26. So both houses passed this pro-life bill. Well, unfortunately, Governor Katie Hobbs announced over the weekend that she will veto this bill. Another example of a heartless, uncaring, pro-abortion Democrat. It's just really sad, really sad. And also, unfortunately, you need, supermajorities to override vetoes, and there just are not enough pro-life supermajorities to override this veto. So this bill will most likely not survive this veto. Okay, last item. Now, I talked about this last week. Kalamazoo Right to Life Focus on Life dinner, May 11th, 2023. It's a Thursday night. It's going to be held at the Kalamazoo First Assembly of God's Ministry Center. This is our main educational event of the year. It is a great event. I mean, great food, great speakers. The setting is beautiful. It's just a great night, and you get to sit with pro-life friends, like-minded people. You're not going to be challenged at the table, and you're going to be inspired. You're just going to be inspired. So I overwhelmingly, I heartily recommend attending our Focus on Life dinner. I really do. Go to the website and make a reservation. If you're having troubles, and I understand there may be some problems with the website, unfortunately, if you go to our last newsletter, you'll see the dinner flyer in the newsletter in that January February newsletter. You'll see on the left-hand side my name and my phone number. Give me a call. If you're having trouble making the reservations, give me a call. I'm not going to give it out now, but it's on that flyer. Give me a call. Our March, April newsletter is coming out this week. So if not, the old newsletter, the new one, it'll be on page 1. Check it out. See my phone number. Give me a call. We will make a place for you at our Focus on Life fundraising dinner. We're raising money for Right to Life in Michigan Education Fund. It is a great cause, a great event. I recommend it mightily. With that, I will let you go, and I will see you next time.